What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Investing Bros live show that goes every single Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Of course, we also have our Saturday show, and we have our morning stuff as well. But this is the Wednesday live show, and we got a lot to talk about because there's been some FUD happening in the news here recently. Of course, if you guys watched my video this morning, we got the FUD coming from Gary Gensler. We'll talk more about that. But the newest one is a video clip of Jamie Dimon talking to good old Auntie Beth, that's Elizabeth Warren, as to why crypto and Bitcoin is only used by criminals and fraudsters and hucksters. And you know what? That's going to be the crannies of today's video. You guys know here at Investing Bros, we got all the stuff you need. We talk about the charts, we talk about the news, we talk about the sentiment, and give you everything you need to know so you can invest wisely for yourself. If that is something you're excited for, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. You don't have to hit like yet because we haven't gotten into the content. And of course, like always, we're going to give you what you need before you smash that like. But get ready. If you want to hit it right now, that's up to you. But there's going to be some good stuff coming your way. Stick around for the entire show. I am joined this afternoon by none other than Mr. T. Shroom from down there in Gainesville, Florida. What's going on, T. Shroom? How you doing?
Tim, I'm doing better than I deserve, my man. Doing real good. Yep, had to turn on the heat today. It got a little chilly down here in North Florida. But we've got a little extra decorations up top here, just north of my forehead. What's going on up here?
Go to your full screen. Let's get a good look at this.
Oh, no, I'm talking about our new sponsor, Blowfin.
Well, it's not above your head. That's decrypted.tax, which of course is a great tax service as well. But yeah, so we've been talking about this in Discord. We have been waiting for it, guys. You want to trade, and we're going to be doing a lot more of this. I'll have some updates mid-show, but Blowfin is the right exchange. If you're an American, if you're British, if you're Canadian, I don't care where you are. Guess what? No KYC, no VPN needed. You can leverage trade. Please do that responsibly. We will make sure we talk about responsible ways to do that. But I have been in it now for the last 2 days. Not to brag, I think I'm up about $800 in the last 2 days using old Blowfin. And I'm not even trading with that much money. But if you know what you're doing and you know how to get the right things, a lot of money to be made. Now, I want to say that. I'm going to brag about that. Go figure, in the next couple of days, I'm probably going to lose some money. That's just how trading goes. You win some, you lose some. The goal is to win more than you lose, though. And so far, that's working out for me. But this is not the Blowfin show, even though they are the sponsors of the channel now. And thank you so much to them, along with other partners up there. This is the crypto show, T-Shirt. But before we get there, do you have a quote of the day for the people?
Tim, of course I have a quote of the day. Life is never easy. There is work to be done and obligations to be met, obligations to truth, to justice and liberty, and J.P. Morgan.
Mm-hmm.
There he is. JFK, the man, the myth, the legend.
Yeah.
What do you think about that one there, Tim?
You know, I like it. The quote, first of all, who cares who said it? The quote is great, right? We recently have some news, I have to say, and we're going to get into crypto stuff, but this is kind of crypto related. Did you see the recent remarks from RFK, the son, JFK, of course, the uncle, RFK, the nephew? Have you seen some of the comments here recently?
Lay it on me, Tim.
Well, and I don't have anything to pull it up here, but he's getting out ahead of things, so props to him for being honest. But he did talk about in an interview recently that he's been on Epstein's plane twice. And he was very vague. Like he said that the quote was something like, "My wife had some sort of a relationship with Maxine, whatever her name is, the girl. No, not what is it, Maxine? What is her name? What's the girl's name?
I don't think it's Maxine.
You guys know what it is. Anyway, so it's one of those things. It's like, hey, like hopefully he's just telling the truth. And he's getting out ahead before people. He wants to tell you before it comes out that he was on the flight log and he didn't do anything wrong. But it's weird, we're getting to a place where it's like, if you've been on Epstein's plane and you're friends with Epstein, because otherwise why are you getting on his plane? And his wife has some form of a relationship, and he's not going into details what that relationship was. Not a great look for RFK. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, not a great look. And I'm hoping, I pray that there's no malice to it whatsoever, and it's a genuine, he just didn't know anything was going on, and he thought that he was just getting a free plane ride to go I think one of the places he said he went hunting dinosaur fossils or something. It's one of those stories. It's like you hope it's true because it was really weird how he described it. So that's not crypto. I just thought that was interesting. The Kennedy name is in the drama category again today in pop culture. Ninja Glock says he is done. Yeah, I think so. He said he never went to the island. Well, but of course, that's the problem. Is if he's, I hope he's telling the truth. But if he wasn't telling the truth, wouldn't you lie? I mean, he could easily lie and say I never went to the island. I don't know what the flight logs look like, but it's just not a good look to have been on the plane with Epstein.
That's the first time hearing of it, but yeah,
Yeah,
based on what you're saying, it's not
rough,
a good look.
rough stuff. Well, T-Shroom, we got a lot of news to cover. You did tell me there was a heat of articles. We want to start off with charts. We'll do a couple of charts here. I forgot to ask today in the Discord what you guys want to see. So special edition, you guys go ahead and flood right now. What are some coins you want to see? I have a couple I want to show you. Show you some of the trades. Here's what I told you guys. I've made some good money in Bluefin. There's one that I missed out on, and I'm going to talk about it here in just a second. I didn't really lose that much money, but I lost out on some money, which is always fun. Let's talk about Bitcoin. Let's go ahead and share my screen here, T-Shroom. Talking about Bitcoin, guys, continuing to hover right in that $44,000 range. But guess what? After yesterday, you guys know if you watched my video yesterday morning, I talked about this prediction for Bitcoin to make it to 44.2. Well, we definitely made it up to that point, actually beat it by a little bit. Guess what we have going on now, guys? We've got another one lined up that would send the price of Bitcoin, if this bull pennant plays out all the way up here, higher than this prediction, all the way up here to 46,900. Let's just go ahead and give that a nice clean round number, and we're going to call it 47,000, give or take. So we're going to be talking about, guys, how high can Bitcoin actually get? I'll look at the charts, but we'll talk about the stories as well. I saw earlier, Gia S asked, how high can we keep going? Some people are saying, oh, I'm already stacking up my short positions. I'll tell you this. Not trying to give you financial advice. You do whatever you want to do. Tim Warren is not looking to short anything anytime soon. In fact, for me to short, I want to see some good negative price action, because right now there are a lot of buyers in the market and there's like no sellers whatsoever. There's people who take profit, but then other people just buy up that profit and we keep going to the upside. This entire time that we have been moving to the upside, the largest pullback we have had on Bitcoin was right here. We got all the way to 37.9, and on Coinbase, we fell all the way down here to 34.7, about an 8.4% pullback. So even if you had timed this perfectly, shorted right at that peak, and taken profit right at the perfect bottom, which is not going to happen, you're not going to do it, so don't try, that's still not that good of a return. And with how explosive it was, you definitely should not be shorting with like 3x, 4x, 5x, 6x. This should be one that you only do like a 1-to-1, and you'd get back a measly 8.49%. Not a good short whatsoever. So what's my point here? As long as this momentum continues to come to the upside and we are having no significant pullbacks whatsoever, the most significant pullback, 8%, I'm not looking for any shorts anytime soon. I will wait. I'll look for some profit. I might sit on the side and just wait and watch how things move out. But I'm going to need to see some serious red, or in this case, blue candles before I am shorting anything in the crypto space. That's just my 2 cents. But Bitcoin, of course, again, looking up to the upside. When you're looking at the large time frames, we're still seeing massive overextension. But what I'm looking for to be my top signal, yes, we're getting overbought flashes here, but we don't really have, I want to see a strong blue candle on the daily chart before I freak out. But even then, I'm still expecting, guys, for a small pullback. We'll see the oscillators pull back just a little bit. The oscillators will come down like this and then move back to the upside. They just won't set a higher high. The price action will slightly pull back, maybe even go sideways, and then it will set a new higher high. Will that be 47,000? Will that be 48,000? Will that be 50,000? Will it be 60,000? I don't know. But I am going to be looking for a top signal with bearish divergence of our oscillators. It's just I don't see it happening right now. There's going to be those out there that say, Tim, don't we have bearish divergence right now? And they're looking at these peaks back here, and they're looking at the peaks back here. But I've told you guys before, the truth is this was the bearish divergence right here. These peaks right there mixed with these peaks right here. This was the bearish divergence. And guess what? That was our big 8% pullback. Now it's kind of a system where you clean the sheet, you wipe it clean. This is a brand new rally, a brand new move. We're looking for a second peak to compare to get some bearish divergence. We're not really necessarily looking back to this peak back here and trying to compare. That one is old and it's gone. We did get a super chat with a nice shill, but you know what? I'm going to read it just because I want to. Although we recommend, guys, please do not invest in any coin that you know nothing about just because you see it on a super chat. But we do thank Lee Kolofi saying GM bros. Well, that's the first problem. It's the afternoon. Unless you are from somewhere it's morning, I guess, technically. Jesus coin is breaking out again, now rising and blessing. Bitcoin and Jesus coin are both decentralized, giving power to the people. God bless. All right. Praise Jesus. We love Jesus and we love super chat. So thank you so much, Lee. Again, I will tell you guys right now, not investing in that coin. Not going to invest in it. And if you want to do it, there's probably money to be made in these little coins like this, but this is another meme coin. And some people are going to say, Tim, are you disgusted that they're using the name of Jesus for a meme coin? No, because first of all, Jesus doesn't get his feelings hurt. It's going to take a lot more than that to hurt Jesus' feelings. But I also don't think that, I've seen people say like, oh, is this like good for Christianity? I'm like, all right, if someone gives their life to Jesus because of Jesus coin, praise God. That's awesome. But I don't put any weight to it whatsoever. T-Shroom, do you think anything different?
Jesus coin is going to the moon.
Okay, well, now you just ruined everything that I just said, and it's time to go back to the charts. Thank you again, Lee, for that super chat. Anything that helps the channel, that is awesome. Let's go ahead and take a look here. We've looked at Bitcoin. Let's take a look. I don't know why I'm so far up here. Let's talk about some sadness. Let's talk about some borderline sadness, T-Shroom. Now, I was doing some on Blowfin today. I was over here trading, and I was looking for a potential scalp situation with Solana, right? So I entered a trade. I looked for my confirmation. I was using a lot of 5-minute, 1-minute charts, a lot of stuff happening here. I entered somewhere here after this pullback, right? So I'd entered a trade somewhere in this range and it started off profitably and I was loving it, but I had my take profit a little higher. So I had it up here at 64 and it didn't quite get there. I'm like, it's okay. We start pulling back. I'm like, it's okay. It's not a problem. Well, we keep dropping. And this happens to all of us, guys. We get down here back towards 63.17, some of this range. Again, I entered somewhere. I might have entered somewhere during this peak because I got to a place where I was down $50. And I was only, because it was a scalp trade and I was using some heavy leverage, I didn't want to risk that much money. I only had $100 in the trade. I was down $50 and I was like, you know what? I don't like how this is looking. I don't like how there's no MVP. The MVP oscillator is not flashing green whatsoever. So we're sending these lows. This could be the beginning of something really bad. And I sold somewhere here right before the dip. And of course, Solana has gone up and not only hit my take profit, but has done some more and then some. We're now getting flashed on the minute chart, but let's see what Solana is doing on the 4-hour and higher. It's not overextended necessarily, but it is higher up there. If you're looking for a position on Solana, what I'm going to be watching here, you guys can see a lot of chaos going on here. Oscillators, not doomsday oscillators, but they're definitely not. I would have entered on a long term. I didn't, but when I saw this green reversal and this down signal right here with that heavy MVP oscillator on the 4-hour chart, would have been a great time to enter into a trade. But what I'm going to look for here, guys, with all of my spider webs galore, we have a rising level of support for sure. We break in more recently these two levels of resistance. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of them to get rid of some chaos. There's two different lines here. The reason why I put this yellow dash here, that was my take profit, is because even though we've had a lot of wicks and candles above it, this line has been a pretty consistent level of resistance. Right here at $64 has been consistent resistance since the peak back on November 11th. And so, yeah, we have wicks above, but as a whole, that's an area that you definitely want to keep your eye on. Now, we have a little bit of a falling level of resistance. We wicked through it here within the last, what would that be? Probably 16 hours. But as a whole, we're staying below that. So what I want to see here, I want to see a breakout above this line. And I want to see potentially a retest or some hovering that we close multiple 4-hour candles, maybe even a daily candle or two above it. And then we look for an entry to the upside. Maybe we continue to see as that kind of trades sideways, we see some pullback on some of these oscillators. Maybe they continue to trade sideways and drop a little bit for us, not getting overextended. Then you're looking for potentially, when we come here and look, let's take these oscillators back down and get rid of my squiggly line right there. Guys, that's a little bit of a pennant right there that, theoretically speaking, I'm going to go ahead and stay conservative with this one. I'm going to say I'm not going to go all the way back here, which some people would be tempted to do. Why? Well, let's just take a look at that. That would give us a very, very bullish prediction here on Solana. That would give us a price prediction up into the platinum pocket, somewhere in the category above the platinum pocket at $180. That would be a rally, even where we currently are, of 192%. Not going to predict it. Not going to predict it whatsoever. What I would say here, conservatively, I like potentially where we kind of started out back here. Let's go up here to this one right here. Move this over to that same spot. Let's get rid of this bad boy right here. This is a move above the golden pocket, so that's even pretty bullish right there. Up to $92. That would be a rally from where we currently are, about 44%. That's bullish. That is crazy. But theoretically speaking, with that symmetrical triangle pattern on the end of an explosive movement, you do potentially have the capability of making that move. By the way, that kind of was made based off of a move back here. Not that that's perfect, but we had another bull pennant, a smaller bull pennant back here that was used to break out and call this one. So could we see another big movement of the same length? We absolutely could. Keep your eyes on that, especially if Bitcoin continues to surge up to closer to 50,000, maybe makes it above 50,000. That would be, I would almost borderline say, easy for Solana to make it up to $92, $93 in that range. I would be cautious to predict anything higher. And in fact, I'm still going to give you a little bit of caution about the top of the golden pocket. That's just, we're getting to kind of unprecedented territory here with an altcoin in a pre-halving cycle getting up back above the golden pocket. You don't see that happen that often. Now, this could be a time for history to be broken, but when you go back and you look at other altcoins in the past, which I'm not going to do right now, but we've talked about it in previous streams, golden pocket is a very good category for altcoins to get back to. Let's see if that happens. I guess there's one argument I could make. Before we move on from Solana. You could make the argument that if it was not for FTX, the bottom of Solana maybe should have been something more like this $27 range. Could you make an outside argument that in a different world where FTX doesn't collapse, that's what this Fibonacci level should look like? And potentially, now we're talking about golden pocket up here at 109. Either way, we're still not talking about $188 for Solana. So anyone who's looking at that bull pennant saying, guys, let's go look at that bull. No, that's not a realistic prediction. I'm going to stick with the conservative one and saying, hey, golden pocket around $80. Very interesting. After that, 92 could be some good spots to, if we get there, take some profit on your Solana waiting for a bigger pullback. Let's see here, T-Shirt. What else do we want to take a look at? AVAX. Let's take a look at AVAX because AVAX is on a tear up. Right here, it says 10% since the beginning of the day. If you go to CoinMarketCap, what is AVAX up on the last 24 hours? 15% is what it's saying. So that's pretty good. 30% on the week. But AVAX has been making me some money. This is one of my trades I'm currently still in. I'm looking to take profit closer to $29. You guys can see as we kind of come into some shorter time frames, you'll see my trade set up here on Trading View. Why are we looking for that? Well, because we have ourselves a little bit of a bull flag right here that gives us that breakout all the way up to $29. So keep my eyes on there. Looking really good at the moment. And I'm, as we're kind of getting to the mid-level, this is the place you're kind of looking and asking the question, should you take 50% profit? If I'm going to see, let's look here. Got a red reversal, but that's not really that concerning me on the hourly chart. When I'm coming down to lower time frames, or let's go back to the 4-hour chart, do I see just a screaming that we need to sell here? We've been overbought here for a while. Maybe. No, I mean, the fact that we reversed right here, that was the reversal signal, and we keep going to the upside. I'm going to go ahead and just let this sucker ride. I think we can continue to see that move to the upside, but AVAX looking very, very good. Just so you guys know, all of our members for right now are silver members and up. I am putting my trade entries into Discord so you guys can see it. You'll see the ones I fail. You'll see the ones I win. Bedridden's been really good. He puts some of his trades in there. He's looking. He gives advice. I'm trying to go in there and give you guys the best non-financial advice I can, just evaluating your technical analysis. But take advantage of it now because I do think here very soon we're going to be opening the platinum level of memberships. And what that means is I'm going to be doing some more streams throughout the week, multiple streams. T-Shim will even do some streams solely for our platinum level members where we will talk trading. We'll review some of your trades. We'll help talk through technical analysis. So make sure you look forward to that. And if that's something you guys are interested in, let us know so that we launch that sooner or later. My thoughts is maybe next week or two. We might end up launching that, but let us know what your thoughts are about that. T-Shroom. Anything that you think before we kind of wrap it out? Eric Wallen says, everyone copy trade Tim. Here's the thing, guys. I would advise you to, even with that, to be cautious. Like, I've been doing well, and I'm not a bad trader. I will say I win more than I lose. But at the thought of making like every single trade I have to do is like, you guys are making money out too. I want you guys, if you copy trade me, to don't just blindly copy trade me. Continue to watch and learn my technical analysis so that you agree with it, so that it's still your brain and your education going into it. That's ultimately, before we wrap it up here and throw it to T-Shroom, we'll have our trivia question of the day, and then we'll get into news. I would be failing you guys if you guys just blindly trusted my technical analysis and traded based off my trades. The purpose of investing, bros, the purpose of what I want to do with the platinum level members is not have you guys just see my trades and then just blindly follow them. It's your continual education so that you know how to do this yourself. Because guess what, guys? You're not going to see every single trade. You're going to wake up and see some of my trades hours later, and that's not going to help you out. But if I can teach you how to fish rather than giving you a fish, you'll be set for life. So hopefully you guys grasp that, appreciate that. That's the cool thing about crypto in general, is I think crypto is a key to a kingdom of personal financial accountability rather than blindly trusting other people. So I would encourage you guys to continue to think about that for yourself. Fade and Shad, if I said Tim, I think you mean Tim. Tim, a question for you. Why do you put the measurement line on the bottom trend line instead of the top? Just wondering, most peeps I see put it on top. Well, first thing I'll say, if you go back to my screen here, T-Shrim, so you're asking, I'm assuming, why am I putting it towards the bottom of this rather than the top? First of all, that's how I learned it. I did not learn. Now, what you do with falling wedges, right? So a falling wedge, let's just draw this. If I have a falling wedge pattern, I don't know why I use this tool. That's the dumbest tool to use. I'm going to use straight lines here. If I have a falling wedge like this, right? So both are falling, but they're constricting. Now I use the breakout. Let's say this was the breakout. Now I use the breakout and I move it to the level of resistance. Why? Because it's just how I've learned to do it. Like it's like if this is the line right here, the price action looks like this. You move it to the breakout prediction, because if I move it down here, you're really canceling out a lot. That could be a significant portion of the rally. But in these flag patterns, I've always learned to do it this way. The other thing is, a lot of times patterns, there's a conservative way to do things and an aggressive way. Like even this, I told you guys there's two different predictions I could have made here. This right here, let's go ahead and get rid of some of this so it's not on the screen. This right here was the conservative one because I started down here. I am sure there are several technical analysts who came all the way to this bottom. And this would be a breakout prediction. If I were to go to use the same bottom signal, that would be a breakout prediction all the way up to $31 for AVAX. Is that doable? It absolutely is doable. But how many of you want to do beautiful technical analysis, enter a trade, and then the price action stops short of your actual exit point? I don't want to be that person. So I'm the type of trader that I love whenever I can find breakout predictions. I still want to look at conservative estimates because more often than not, I have seen the aggressive, ridiculous price predictions be the ones that the price falls short of. And it doesn't matter if your technical analysis was beautiful. If you don't actually get your exit and your take profit, you didn't make any money. I like doing it conservatively. So for you, Fade and TradFi, I'm a conservative technical analyst. This is the conservative way of doing it. It's the right way, in my opinion. But if some people do it like this, that's fine. That gives you a $29, almost $30. That's a fine prediction. You can do it that way. I would just say, with my experience, be prepared to be disappointed from time to time with that more aggressive style.
Yep, absolutely. Well, I'll give my take here on the markets really briefly, and then we'll get into the factoid of the day, and then we'll get into some stories. How's that sound, Tim?
Let's do it. Well, and everyone, go ahead and smash that like button at this point now, 25 minutes in the show. If you guys enjoyed the technical analysis, you enjoyed the explanations, go ahead and smash that like button. Let's get, we have 56 people in here, a lighter day today, but you guys can still get our likes up to. I bet you we could get before the end of the day 70 likes. What do you think, T-Shroom?
I think that's spot on. So
Boom.
Tim, my perspective on the markets right now, which by the way, I talk about it a lot on Twitter. You can follow me at T-Shroom. This was actually something I put reply with the last 5 words you typed. These were kind of funny. You can read them, but my overall thoughts on the market right now are there's kind of an easy trade out there, which is we're in a unique spot in crypto that happens quite often where buying Ethereum after Bitcoin pumps oftentimes will be easy money, right? Because these altcoins, especially Ethereum, just chases and just mimics what Bitcoin did the day before or 3 or 4 days before, right? So this isn't going to happen 100% of the time, and we may exit an environment that allows for this type of catching up for altcoins. But for right now, whenever Bitcoin spikes and then moves sideways, you can rest assured that there's going to be altcoins, and not all of them, but altcoins in general are going to have a move higher as profit taking rotates out of Bitcoin and into altcoins. Right, so that for the time being, that is an easy money play that I'm absolutely taking advantage of. I'm just sitting here kind of trading spot Bitcoin on Robinhood until I get my Blowfin account set up, which I'm very close to doing, and then I'll be off to the races on the leverage trades. All right, Tim, let's get into the factoid of the day here. It's brought to you by decrypted.tax, and let's go ahead and get right on into it. How much in fines have the criminals over at JP Morgan paid since 2000? It's going
to be billions.
Is it A, 36.1 billion, B, 904.3 million, is it 416.9 billion, or 4.4 billion? What do you think, Tim?
I'm tempted to say A36 because I feel like 4.4. I don't know what the elf is thinking, but is he trying to sneak out potentially like a number like what Binance just got fined, the highest one-time fine of all of them? But I could see all of them combining to 4.4 billion. Let's see, 3.6. So since 2000, so we're talking about the last almost 24 years. I know it's ridiculous. So I know it's going to be over $1 billion. I think 36.1 billion. And that's crazy. And what's nuts is they are still a profitable company despite having to pay $36.1 billion.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah, stick with it. So,
all right. So he's going to lock in A. Guys, let's go ahead and jump into our stories here, of which there are many. But we're going to start off with the soundbite that many people have listened to already. Maybe you haven't, but we're going to go ahead and jump into it right now.
I've always been deeply opposed to crypto, Bitcoin, etc. You pointed out the only true use case for it is criminals, drug traffickers, anti-money laundering, tax avoidance, and that is a use case because it is somewhat anonymous, not fully, and because you can move money instantaneously, and because it doesn't go through, as you mentioned, all these shits that have built up over many years, know your customer, sanctions, OFAC, they can get bypass all of that. If I was the government, I'd close it down.
Okay.
I've always been deeply...
He'd close it down, Tim.
Of course you agree, Beth. Auntie Beth.
Yeah.
Of course you agree. That's your whole platform for this next election.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. Could we first of all, the guy next to him was not buying it, or he was just annoyed by Jamie Dimon the whole time.
Yeah.
Also, and I've talked about this recently, speaking of, I know you hung out with our friend. We're not going to say his name. We hung out with a friend. You hung out with a friend last night who knows people. He has friends that worked in the same building as Jamie Dimon who know that Jamie Dimon has been buying Bitcoin for years now.
Right.
Now, I've joked about this before, but I'm kind of joking and kind of not joking. If you ever go back and look at the history of JP Morgan CEOs and the things that they have done, I've joked that I believe part of the job description / interview process, one of the questions is, are you willing to lie strictly to the face of our customers and tell them to buy when you want to sell and sell when you want to buy? And they have to say yes. If they say no, they don't get the job. Because this is a company known for turning your eyes this direction when they're going over here, right? So my first response to this video is he's lying through his teeth. My man has been buying Bitcoin for years, and the fact that he's now looping in the rest of the crypto space makes me believe that he is buying those cryptos as well. He's just stocking up for it. Of course, JP Morgan is constantly, their trading experts and analysts are constantly putting out bullish predictions. So even if I'm Jamie Dimon, I'm like, all my analysts are saying this is super bullish. I like money. I like money more than truth. I like money more than me having a good name. I like money more than anything else in this world. Well, if my analysts think Bitcoin's going to make me money, I'm going to make money. So that's what I see there. That's my observation number one, T-Shroom, and I'll get yours in a second. But my second observation is the fact that he says that it's for nothing but criminals. It's not trackable. That's the dumbest thing in the world. The dumbest thing in the world. It is it's called a blockchain, Jamie. A chain. It's trackable. We know what happens. In fact, to this date, all major criminals who have used it have been caught. Now, I guess the thing about criminals is if you get away with it, no one knows that you did it. That's one thing. But every major criminal that has been using crypto was found not through something else. They were found out through the blockchain. And analysts who analyzed the whole situation, and Piper can attest this because this is part of what he did for the military. They literally said if this crime had been committed with cash, US dollars, they would not have been able to track down these criminals. So the whole thing is ludicrous from a perspective of that. I know that he's lying to us, and from the perspective of that, if he wasn't lying, he was just trying to be honest. His information is so far wrong, it's not even funny. This whole thing is just nuts. It's FUD in the market, and the crypto's not falling for it. Everything's continuing to go up and to the right. T-Shirt, what were your thoughts when you saw that clip?
Yeah, well, I mean, basically in line with a lot of what you said there, Tim. Essentially, what I think is important though is that it's making its rounds around TradFi quite rapidly, right? This is the front page of CNBC after that hearing, which, by the way, that hearing was like all of Wall Street banks coming before the Senate because Elizabeth Warren was there; she's a senator, and basically getting it's like classic hearing to trying to figure out, get to the bottom of some, the crime that's going on in the banking industry and try to sort through some of the regulations that are working or not working, right? It's a focus group with the world's most powerful bankers in the world. But Jamie Dimon, the takeaway from that, there's a lot of things that could have been taken away because of very, very important things said in a very important meeting at the Senate, right? But this was the main thing that CNBC felt was important to bring to its viewers. Jamie Dimon lashes out against crypto. If I was the government, I'd close it down, right? Not saying much about CNBC, but this is just the most important story that they went ahead and ran with. It has to do with crypto. Now, in their defense, in the CNBC's defense, that is the top trending thing right now in the world, right? In the finance world is crypto. So they had every prerogative to take that soundbite and run with it. And as you can see on spending a half a second on X, it is like wildfire, that clip. So thought we'd bring it to you, Tim. You overall, you jumped in and had some good analysis. We're bullish here on Bitcoin. In case you didn't notice this, Bitcoin flips Tesla, Meta, and Bitcoin hater Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway. So I did have one more reference that I wanted to bring to your attention here, but I forgot to pull it up. But because I'm very quick on the keys, I already have it up. Boom, just like that. That's the kind of value you get here at the Investing Bros. You gotta love it. Oh, we're having fun. But as you can see, yes. So Bitcoin. So Tesla, 763 billion. Berkshire Hathaway, 768 billion. And if you go over to CoinMarketCap and you take a look at Bitcoin, 862 billion. So indeed, it is flipping some of the world's largest corporations. The top, they're not any bigger than this, guys. Now, they got the ones up top, Apple, Microsoft, Saudi Aramco, and so on. But there's really only NVIDIA that is bigger than Bitcoin right now. NVIDIA and 5 other corporations are the only thing standing in the way of Bitcoin flipping every single corporation in the world, including Saudi Aramco, which is basically the net worth of an entire country, Saudi Arabia. So it's pretty intense. It's pretty insane. I misspoke. That Saudi Arabia is worth way more than $2 trillion. But essentially, it's big. It's getting big, and it's only getting bigger. And it's one perspective to celebrate by looking at the total market clap. The market clap. I like that. Yeah. So what are your reactions to the market cap of Bitcoin as it relates to other asset classes?
It's not done. I mean, if you guys watched my price prediction video yesterday, I gave the short-term price prediction for Bitcoin, which killed it, and it was perfect. And then I gave a long-term price prediction for Bitcoin, and I talk about the market cap, and I say that I believe we're going to get somewhere between, and you guys got to watch the video to find out the details, but 3.3 to potentially all the way up to $4.4 trillion of a market cap for Bitcoin. Now, of course, those companies will grow too, so it's not like they're going to stay exactly still. But what was the largest one? Like 2.7%?
The
Like 2.7
largest
billion, excuse me. The Apple.
the largest company in the world is 2.9 trillion. Yeah, and yesterday it was 3 trillion because I was looking at it with my mom.
Yeah, I mean, I could see Apple in a bull market. Bitcoin's going to go up. I'm going to assume that Apple's going to go up as well. People are going to be spending money unless there's some sort of recession. But at this point, they're kind of kicking that recession down the road. I could see Apple getting the similar category. So maybe we're talking about Bitcoin being 1 or 2. But Bitcoin is going to be moving up that list here over the next year and some change. Year and 8 months, 9 months, give or take, I think, until we get to the top 10 months, maybe 1.10. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's going to get really, really explosive here very, very soon for Bitcoin.
Right.
Despite Jamie Dimon, and then despite, I don't know if you're going to talk about this, T-Shroom, but despite what old Gary Gensler is trying on the works, and did you hear about that one? The Gary Gensler little clause. He's slipping into ETFs.
I watched your video, and on my live stream, I urge folks to go ahead and check out your 8:30 video, which I think you said it best there. I could give my take here, but we do have some other stories. We could circle back on that here in a sec.
Yeah, well, no, we're going to leave it at that. People, if you want to hear about Gary Gensler, if you have no idea what we're talking about, there was a video recorded this morning. You got to go check it out here on Investing Bros.
Yeah,
it'll his picture's on the thumbnail, so in case you're looking for it, yeah.
Awesome. Well, that's the second reason I've heard to go back and watch that video this morning. Then, Tim,
there's a lot of reasons, yeah.
Absolutely. Well, there's a lot of coins moving to the upside, and Doge is no different. Look at the Ichimoku here for Doge on the daily chart. You can see it's re-entering that bullish zone. And if you take a look, man, Doge has just had an absolute move to the upside all through November, and December is getting nearly parabolic. Well, we've got some updates here. The source code shows Elon Musk's Tesla preparing to accept Dogecoin payments for the Cybertruck. Doge to the moon. So there is some exciting developments over there. And of course, it has to do with Elon Musk and Tesla. Of course it has. With Doge, you don't have to throw a stone very far before you start to see Elon and Tesla's name pump into the headline. So, Tim, any thoughts on that? Or do you hold any Doge?
No, we were talking about it earlier today. Yeah, here's the thing, man. Like, I told you guys in my video where I gave you my portfolio that I might hold a little bit of Doge. And I'm not saying I definitely won't, but it's still just concerning to me. The fact that there's no cap on the market cap whatsoever, and they're pretty liberal about when they print and inflate. I still believe in Elon and Tesla, but of course, recent news with them, telling all the sponsors who want to blackmail Elon Musk to go F themselves. While I would love to see it, it's not great for X. And Elon's kind of held onto that joke that he might use Doge, but it's just not practical. Like, Dogecoin is still the king of meme coins. I don't know if another meme's going to top it, but there's just so many other good altcoins to invest in other than Doge. Like, I feel like I'm potentially throwing my money away by getting into Doge.
I might sound like an echo, but the only use case for Doge is just for criminals.
Oh my God.
Just kidding. Oh, we're having fun. I just saw a very encouraging chat here from Eric Brunenix, and he said, "Good job, boys. You will grow." So I feel very young with that chat, and I also feel very encouraged. So thank you so much, Eric. Much appreciated.
Eric Wallen asks, Tim, whose side are you on? I didn't know I was. Was that comment something against someone's side? I didn't know.
I don't know either. But we love Eric.
I'm not on Dogecoin's side. Like, I'm not against Dogecoin. I just don't really plan on holding it. I just can't trust. I just cannot trust Dogecoin.
I had an epiphany about this since we're so the thing with Dogecoin. I feel like Elon Musk may never come out and formally make Dogecoin something, right, that the market's like waiting for. For me, it's been integrated as the proof of identity coin that underpins X and other social medias and other websites, right, that he's got. But ultimately, I don't know that that's going to be the play. I think it's just kind of live in this nebulous association with Elon's brand, and the closest we'll ever get to it actually being, some quote unquote integrated is actually the bio for Elon Musk. If you take a look at his bio, he does have this very, 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 very small little Dogecoin logo in his location, which is like, this is official X account, but it's like, what do you do with that?
I still ascribe this to like Elon is silly. Like he's a brilliant man who's silly. Let's just be honest. And I feel like the Dogecoin thing, I'm not saying he's not thinking about it, but I think push comes to shove when he goes to make the right decision, the serious decision. It's going to be the thing where he's like, all right, I know I've been dragging this Dogecoin thing along and I really wanted it to work out. Like he's rooting for them. But he's kind of reached out to the team. He's talked about, he's like, I want to work with the team to help develop Dogecoin. And they've pretty much turned him down. So I think he's a silly guy, but he's serious about business. And when business comes a knocking and he needs to make a decision, Dogecoin just won't be the right one for him.
It's interesting. He surprised me with the partnership with eToro. That kind of seemed unaligned.
That was weird. Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. He's unpredictable with the partnerships, as he moves into the financial world. But honestly, he wants to create the next like super finance app. So he's going to at some point have to integrate some kind of blockchain into it.
I would say chat right now in the live stream. And if you're watching this back later, comment down below. Who do you think he should partner with? Should it be Dogecoin? Should it be like someone fast, Solana, Algo? Like, should he go Speedy? Should he go more decentralization? Should he go Cardano? Should he go Monero? Should he go super private? Who do you think that he should partner with? It doesn't have to be those ones I just named. Just, if one of those was the one you think, good. But what do you think he should choose? Is it Dogecoin? I mean, like, yeah, you guys choose what he should partner X with. But yeah, we can keep moving on. Let's go to the next story. I know it's 3:42. We still have to answer our trivia question.
We do.
We'll do some Q&A. And we'll be wrapping up the show here sooner.
Yeah, we can get through these next couple pretty quick here. SEC delays Grayscale's Ethereum ETF decision to January. Not surprised by that at all. This one's kind of interesting, going into a little bit of TradFi. Google launches its largest and most capable AI model, Gemini. So sorry, Gemini, you have a lot more SEO to compete with now to try to sell your exchange. But executives say Tuesday that Gemini Pro outperformed OpenAI's GPT 3.5, but dodged questions about how it stacked up against GPT-4. So, for AI nerds, this is a pretty exciting development. And we'll move on. Google did not seem to respond very bullishly, is looking like it's going to be closing the day down. So in the red for Google. Also, stablecoin much, Google hasn't really left this range that it's been in for a long time. Great for traders, bad for investors. That's going to be our news, folks.
Good stuff. Well, let's get that answer to the trivia question. Then we'll jump in. We'll do some more TA. If you guys are wanting to do TA, we'll answer some questions. We'll wrap out the stream, call it a day. But I do want to find out, how much in fines has JP Morgan paid since the year 2000?
All right, Tim.
Well, there's a drum. Bam.
You got it.
I got it.
I'm actually pretty surprised that you guessed this one. I thought that the Factoid Elf was going to outsmart you and that you were going to pick one of the others. But, Tim?
Wait, go back to it. Did I? So I will be honest. I misread. I thought the middle two both were million. 416 billion. Well, that's just too much. That is ridiculous there. The best ones were 4.4 billion. But again, I don't know if you talked to the elf about his choices. Was that based off of the Binance, or is it completely irrelevant? Is it just his own prediction?
The elf does not reveal his methods. But according to this account, Bitcoin Archive, which is usually pretty reliable in its facts, JP Morgan has been fined $36.1 billion since 2000. It's a shame. It really, we kind of look at that and we laugh, but it's really a shame. Like, you have to assume when you're dealing with a large organization at scale that there's going to be some issues, right? But when you're a financial organization, there really shouldn't be any issues. Like you can control for that. Clearly, there's a systemic issue not only in J.P. Morgan but in Wall Street, and it's sad. And crypto does fix it to some extent. I mean, it's not going to fix it completely, but it's really sad. It's really sad to see that level of fraud.
It'd be nice is if that offloaded some taxes because you know where that money's going. It's not like they're saying, "Oh, you hurt your customers. We're going to fine you and give the money back to your customers." No, they just take it and keep it inside the government. So it is sad, but it's also that's just part of the it's kind of dumb. The whole thing, it's sad because it's stupid. It's stupid, the corruption that happens because they're not going to stop doing it. Like that wasn't like one or two offenses. That was probably like over 100 offenses that went into that $36 billion, which means the profitability of them breaking the rules outweighs the negativity of the fine for the rules. So they probably just sat there and said, yeah, we paid 36 billion, but all those things we did that were illegal, we made 66 billion off of it. So we're just going to keep on doing it. That's the sad reality is that it's not actually a system that works to create real justice.
Yeah. Justice. And that's what we're after.
Justice.
Here at the Investing Bros. Well, you want to take suggestions for charts?
Let's do this. Let's get into some Q&A time here. Do you want to do some technical analysis? We want to talk about some stories. What do you guys want to discuss? Eric Bruinick, yeah, Nicks maybe. Have Gary Gensler in January a bad present? Okay, so Eric did say his English is hard. He said that he is from the Netherlands. Have Gary Gensler in January a bad present? So I'm going to interpret this, Eric, as is he going to give us a bad present in January? So as T-Shroom just said, he is going to be delaying the Ethereum ETF, but that's not a shocker. We all expected that. This is the question. Is he going to deny Grayscale in January or approve all of them in January? Because ultimately, I still don't see a route, and I don't know if you do, T-Shroom, of him doing this process one by one by one. I think that part of this delay is they're lining all of the applicants up. They're saying, this is the terminology we want all of your documents to look like. We don't want to give an unfair advantage to any single one of you. We want to limit as much price manipulation as possible. So they're going to approve everyone at once. The question is, do they find some sort of BS system to deny Grayscale and push it back? I'm still in the category of saying I'm going to keep still. I have a 45% probability that we get an ETF by January 10th. I'm still leaning my 90% is coming closer to March. I think that there will be some form of an excuse, and they'll just take the lawsuit from Grayscale. They'll find a way to delay that ETF once again and prepare themselves. But if you guys didn't watch my video this morning, I talk about another reason why they might delay it, and it has to do with something really crazy that Gary could keep in his back pocket for a rainy day to ruin all of our days and ruin Bitcoin. But I'm not going to go too much deeper into that because that's all in the video from this morning.
It was a great video.
The kid CoMN, we know that means Colorado, Minnesota, said market will crash. Crash at the ETFs when he denies them, or because Ron Wilson says, I think he will deny all the ETFs. So, Ron, you're saying you think he's going to deny all of them in March because he won't deny them in January because he doesn't have to. He'll only deny – if he wants to deny, he only has to deny Grayscale. The rest of them can just sit and wait until March. So you're saying, Ron, you think in March he will deny all the ETFs? That's an interesting prediction. And I've heard it, but yeah, maybe. Crypto J said XRP, immutable X, anything with X in the lettering. I'm assuming, Crypto J, that is your prediction on what Elon Musk will be using for X. And it's not a bad thought because that is another thing that he has done. Has he been pro, anti, or just kind of silent about the XRP saga as a whole?
I think pretty neutral. But I wanted to question something. So my understanding is that the ARK Invest 21 shares spot Bitcoin ETF is a final decision on January 10th.
Maybe theirs is too. I'm pretty sure Grayscale's is too. So maybe with this more recent delay, theirs got added. So maybe it's both ARK Invest and Grayscale. Could you look that up potentially, or we could talk about that in a different show if anyone else knows the detail. I think you're right though. I do think ARK Invest is January 10th. Maybe we have two. that he would have to deny. And guess what? He wouldn't have a problem with it. He would, for him, that's just extra. That's extra icing on the cake to get to deny 2 people rather than just one. He loves to do it. Eric Wallen said Musk should use CAS, but he won't. Meaning CASPA. Yeah, CASPA would be interesting for sure. It would make it explode even more. It's already going to have some good stuff. What do we got here?
So the answer is yes. It's the final deadline on January 10th. And
Where does it have grayscale now?
So grayscale's not on this. It's not on this list because it's a different request. It's a totally different filing.
Okay.
Because they're trying to flip their trust into a ETF, whereas all these other ones, they're trying to release a ETF fresh, spot ETF. So the issue is that if they're like certainly okay, so there's really 2 outcomes in my opinion. Is that you have the ARK Invest is either going to be approved and then all of them are approved on the 10th, or it's going to, they're going to have to go to Congress and ask for more time, which I suppose they could do that. All of this is man-made law, so they can man can remake it, right? But ultimately, I think that the 10th is probably that's my prediction, is that the 10th is going to be our day. It's going to be make or break there, and we'll find out if it's a buy the rumor, sell the news, or if that is really going to unlock, hundreds of billions of dollars on the first day, hundreds of millions, whatever it's going to be, potentially trillions, probably not, and then trillions over the next 2 years, and it's certainly leading up to the halving. So it's going to be remarkable either way. But my bet is that the 10th is going to be that significant day.
Yeah.
So
what's your prediction, T-shirt? Let's get into some prediction time, chat. You can go along with us. January 10th.
Yeah.
ARK Invest and any other ETF, because he's gonna bring them all up. Do we get ETFs approved on or before January 10th? Yay or nay?
I think it's going to be on. That's my prediction. Because Gary's style is to wait till the last minute. Mm-hmm. Recently, he has done some delays before the deadline, but I think for the big one here is he's wait till the last minute. You might as well, to show that you're adamant. You think you're doing the best thing for the investors, and then but approve it, because if you don't, it's going to be complicated, and I do think that his job is on the line with this decision.
Okay.
Congress has been very vocal about it.
Second part of this question, and I'm going to answer all of them after you've given the answer. A lot of times I get to answer first, and then you follow up. So I'm giving you the chance to give your answer first. So you're a yay. You're a yay for ETFs.
I'm a yay.
Now, first part of question. This is question 2.A, because there's going to be a 2.B.
Sure.
2.A. Where is the price of Bitcoin on January 10th when these ETFs are approved?
So before they're approved, let's say I think 50,000 isn't too far off.
Okay.
I think hopefully we'll see a correction of at least 10% before then on Bitcoin to A, let the alts pump, and B, let your boy get back into Bitcoin at a little bit lower prices. But 50K by the 9th.
Okay. So question 2.B. We're at 50K. I almost said Jerome Powell. Gary Gensler announces on his personal Twitter account that he is approving. I don't know why he announced on his Twitter. That's just part of my question. He announces that he is approving the Bitcoin ETFs. The market celebrates. We're all waving our hands in the sky. Every single crypto influencer's title is something to do with Bitcoin ETF approved, right? That's just what's going to happen.
Sure.
If this happens, what does the price do?
I think in the moment, in that first hour, 2 hours, it spikes, right? I think it maybe even touch 60. Genuinely, I believe that. I think it goes crazy, right? But I think that the way it settles over the next 24 hours is it probably actually closes under 50,000. Just because right now you could go ahead and make the argument that the acceptance of that ETF is priced in. And so, I have no emotional reaction to either of those, other than I feel bad for the people who are going to get wrecked buying it at 60, buying it at whatever that spike is. The reason I say that, though, is because we had that fake news that came out that said the ETF had been approved and Bitcoin spiked. So I think in the first few hours, we already know what's going to happen. But over the 24 and 48 hour period, I think it makes sense that the market needs to retest lower. Now, the only way that would be wrong is if this thesis that No, this is where new money is going to come into the market. This is where all the fiduciaries are going to be like, okay, green light from New York, green light ultimately from TradFi. I'm putting my clients who've been asking about it. This is it. You know, they didn't feel comfortable with the futures ETFs. This is it. Spot ETF, spot Bitcoin price exposure for my clients to the tune of however many trillion. I mean, day one, that could potentially happen. Right. But I think that these fiduciaries are going to wait because they like to wait until volatility minimizes.
Mm-hmm.
And for Bitcoin, I think it's going to take some time because I could see now the question would be how low does it go? For if it's at 50, which is we're working with some nice round numbers. You're welcome. I could probably come back down to 45, maybe even 40, 37 at the real low end. But if we go into that event where Bitcoin's only at 45, right? Say we've made a correction, or even 40, I could see us going down as low as 25.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. There's a lot there. You know, I agree with most of what you said. I have some differences though. So here's my thing. I think that we actually could pretty quickly start making that push towards 47, 48. I already told you guys in the technical analysis earlier, we're setting up a bullpen right now that would send us about 47. I would not be surprised to see us get to 47 and kind of do a similar movement to what we just did here at the end of October into November, where we trade sideways, maybe slightly to the upside. You know, we peak at 47, kind of regroup in that area. We slowly but surely just flirt sideways right there around the same price action of March of 2022. We're flirting, kind of waiting for the next news. And you said, hey, we're at 50K come January. We get the approval. The price spikes, and then it falls to the downside. Here's what I'm going to say. I think the price is going to be flirting and hovering between 47, 48. Let's call it 48 high and probably somewhere 45 low. 45.5, somewhere fluctuating like we did in October. If we get an approval, which again, I've given a 45% chance that we get that. I think you're absolutely right about an initial surge. And that surge for me gets us to the coveted $50,000, maybe a little above it. Maybe we're looking at 50,100, 50,200. I don't think we're going to get mass amounts of sales right at 50,000, right? We're not, but I think that's going to be pretty close to where we top out. And then the dump happens. But I also would not be surprised if we do what I just said, we get to 47, 48, we flirt in that area. We just kind of trade sideways until January 10th. And then my prediction, there is the delay. But the delay is going to be something that's significant to make you think, hey, ETFs are going to come, but we're still really concerned about manipulation. And we're kind of left in a season where it's like it could be March or it could be way later, right?
Mm-hmm.
I still think we're getting them sometimes in March and May, but the story will be there's some massive concerns. We're still really worried about crypto and Bitcoin's take on the economy. And that will be the crushing blow, the excuse to sell off. The price will drop back down. At this point, I still am a heavy believer in about $31,000 to $32,000 range. I give the same kind of call you did about that outside chance, about 25 still is in play. That would be a 40 to closer to 50% pullback in that range, which is right on line with what we normally have. Then we'll get the approval. We'll start moving up, and the halving will happen. We'll keep moving up, and then the bull market will be beautiful. Everything will be right. But I'm not going to be surprised to see them continue to play with our emotions and use that as it's funny because Gary so much doesn't want the price to be manipulated that the excuse for dropping the price to the downside, manipulating the price will be his concern about price manipulation. And then at that point, here's what I'll also say. I'm not saying we won't ever have a decent bear market, but I could see this be the last crazy bull market with a decent bear market. Because now the institutions are involved, you're going to see this trade a lot more like stocks, where in the stock world, you might see a continual gradual move to the upside, but you're never going to see very fast, crazy pulls back down. I think that they need one more good, crazy dip. And then now officially institutions are involved in it. The bull market's going to be explosive. It's going to be amazing. We're going to get up again, based off of my predictions, between 150 to 220 or so. And then we'll have a little bit of keel off. We might drop back down to about 100. Maybe we'll drop back down to like 70, 80K. but I don't think we're going to get these 90% pullbacks in Bitcoin. I don't think we didn't get a 90% pullback this time. I don't think we're going to get like these 70% pullbacks. I think we're looking a lot more in the future of 50% being the norm, and then it'll keep getting dwindling lower and lower to where it's like bear markets it pulls back 30%. Now, it also doesn't rally extremely fast. Like we're so used to, hey, you blink and Bitcoin's up 20%. I think after this bull market, those days will be over. The institutions will have full control. They will manipulate price in a way that they limit it, meaning if there ever is these massive buys, they will counter it with massive sells to suppress any big moves to the upside or downside at any given time. There will still be a flow. There will still be seasons to be buying and seasons to be selling. There still will be pullbacks of 30, 40% and rallies of 100%, but it will get a lot more boring. It'll get a lot more studious. That's kind of what I'm predicting out into the future. And it starts when these institutions get their ETFs and they get their hands on the Bitcoin.
I like it. That's good. Good words there. I like it.
Well, guys, that is all we have for you. It is 4:00. Guess what? I am going to get a haircut here in about an hour. So I'm going to wrap up some stuff here at work. I'm going to get a haircut. You guys should see a clean, trimmed Tim tomorrow. If there's not any other reason in this video to smash the like button, that was it right there. Smash the like button, hit subscribe. Thank you to every single one of you guys that tuned in for the entire show. We will see you guys. I'll have my 8:30 video tomorrow. Tishan will have that 9 o'clock live. We will have our gold members only stream tomorrow. All of our gold members, make sure you're there. If you want to be there, join the gold membership today. You don't want to miss out. With that said, though, you guys have a fantastic evening, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Tryna make paper, turn that better to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots that bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros. Army pipe, lethal on trade. Entries and exits, worthy of praise. Tim, the professor of the TA. Shout it out loud on the PA. T-Shrooms news, got the word. Doing better than what he deserves. Beamer, leave no evidence. Soon fly coop with his dividend. Tryna make paper, turn that better to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots that bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros.